Hey there, guys. What's going on? It's Chad again. So, update on the Zrodelta, as you might have known, or if you go back and look at the videos, I had some issues. The safety plunger fell out, and it was the second time. So, I sent it back, thinking that I was done with this little project and that, yeah, I'd move on to something bigger and better. Well, not exactly. It's back. Here it is. So here's what happened. I sent the firearm back, talked to sales, explained to them that I was all Zrodelted out, and the gun fell apart again, and I was not going to be requesting parts anymore. I just simply wanted to be done with it, and send me a refund. Blah blah blah. Well, now, admittedly, I did modify this weapon. If you guys have been watching any of the videos, you know that. The Gen 5 compatibility is highly questionable. And I bought a Gen 5 performance trigger to put into it. And everybody that's commented on the trigger, thank you. Yes, I know that other platforms and other guns and even stock locks, there's had to be some modifications taken in some cases, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so they gave me a call or emailed me, and basically very politely, again, their customer service is fantastic. I will give them that. Very polite, very quick to respond. Basically told me to go fuck myself. Not in those words. They were very polite about it. That I modified the guns and it was now voided in their system and there was no longer anything they could do to help me. To which I replied very politely as well that the only modifications I'd made to the firearm were to the lower frame, receiver, if you will, if you prefer. And that I understood it was only to make a gun that was supposed to be Gen 5 compatible, actually Gen 5 compatible. And it didn't mess with any of the function or anything else of the firearm, blah, blah, blah. To which, again, I was advised that the gun had been modified. They were washing their hands of it. No, thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy your firearm. We're sending it back to you. Okay. So kind of went back and forth a little bit. Basically, I conceded, you know what? I did modify the lower a little bit. That's on me. Tell you what, you sold the gun in two pieces. You could buy it as just a fire control group, if you will, or frame kit. That's the part that I modified. Tell you what, why don't you just, sorry, I'm looking for a screwdriver, same thing. Why don't you just send the lower back to me and refund out the slide, which is what I was having problems with. And, I'll continue to modify the lower and I'll find a Glock slide and put on there and everybody will be happy. Well, that wasn't going to happen either. So then, now I will admit, the gentleman over there, again, really nice kid, really, considering the circumstances. I asked then, it's like, all right, well, so I guess I'll just buy some parts to fix it myself and put it back together and, see what I can do with it. I am not going to obviously sell this firearm. I don't want anybody else to have to deal with this. And if I need to do further modifications, obviously I'm not going to modify it in any way, shape, or form that would impede the safety or reliability of it. Reliability, I guess I don't have to worry about that much. In any event, no. So he did put all stock parts back into the slide and fix the slide back to stock condition. Thank you. I appreciate that. You did save me a couple bucks there, I guess. So here's where everything started, and this is what I was trying to emphasize to them. So again, if you guys watch the channel at all, you'll know that the safety plunger, which is located right back here, it's that little plunger right there. So that has to be depressed by this armature on the trigger bar to allow that striker to go past the safety plunger to actually strike the round, to set the round off. Okay, so it's just a safety thing. It's for drop safety, really, is what it's for. So yeah, that fell out. Now the first time it happened, the gun was still in stock form. Me and Dad were just out back. I was actually trying to shoot some video for the pistol, and all of a sudden we started having misfeeds, and so I brought it inside and went to take it apart, and that plunger was missing, and I assumed because that plunger was floating around in the firearm, well, that was probably a problem. And in any event, so that was the first time I called Zrodelta and was like, hey, look, this is the situation. The safety plunger fell out. When the safety plunger fell out, the spring ejected. I don't know where it's at now. It probably got all chewed up in the slide, whatnot, have you, blah, blah, blah. And at that time, talked to their head gunsmith, explained to him what I believe happened at that point in time. What I believe happened at that time, again, the slide had never been taken apart at that point. I hadn't even put an optic on it, okay? It had been off the gun, but never taken apart. I'd never taken the retainer cap off the back of it, not once. So I told them the parts I needed, which, anyways, they took care of. They sent right to me. It was fantastic. I threw them in. And the last video I shot where I was out actually test firing it with the red dot on it and having some success with accuracy, but not so great a success with function. Took the gun back apart again. And mind you, this is only maybe 100 rounds in between issues with the safety plunger. So followed again, and this is where I determined I'm done. This is over with. Granted, I pulled the everything apart and I inspected it. The comment back to me was that the gun had been put back together incorrectly and was missing parts, and that's why it didn't function. Well, I put whatever parts back into it I took out of it. So, yeah, I guess it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter. Again, they were very professional and very nice about the whole situation. I mean, I guess as nice as one can be telling them to go pound sand. I understand to a point. I do understand to a point. Hey, I'm modified it. It is what it is. We're not going to help you out. We don't want guns out there that people are messing with and giving us a bad name. Well, you did that all on your own. Okay. Everybody that's watched these videos knows where and what has been done with the gun, knows the process that it's taken to get here. Yeah, I'm utterly upset that I ever ordered this firearm and waited for it. I should have done like a lot of other guys did. I don't mind having to modify this a little bit for an aftermarket trigger. I get it. Hey, it happens. It says it's Glock 5 compatible. That's why I went with the Glock Performance trigger. And don't get me wrong, I love the Glock Performance trigger thus far. I put it in other guns for folks, and they're working flawlessly. They're awesome. So it's not the trigger. It's the fact that this gun was promoted as being Gen 5 compatible, and the fact of the matter is it is not. It's just not. So modifications will have to be made. I know there's other trigger systems out there that probably slap right in, no issue. It does appear that, and thank you again for some of the folks online that have commented. I do appreciate it. It does actually seem that the interface between the slide stop and the trigger bar can be a potential issue, not just in Zrodelta. but in some of the Glocks themselves that have the ambidextrous slide stop. So, what are we going to do at this point? Well, we're going to shoot her till she breaks again. So I am going to modify that slide catch a bit more. I need to take just a little bit more metal off the inside of it. Now, folks might get a little excited about that. I am right-handed to the bone. I am not worried about weakening the weak hand side of this to the point where I can't, thumb it or correctly. Thumb it down, I might bend it or something like that. I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm not going to have to take that much metal off in it, and besides, I'll never use that side anyways. I'll always be using this side. And as a rule, I tend to assist my slide back when I lower it anyway. So, shouldn't be an issue. Not worried about it. We're going to put everything back the way it was. The performance trigger's going back in. The red dot is going back on, and then we are just going to shoot the ever-living shit out of this gun. I did also explain to him that the front sight was falling off. I, at this time, am not going to touch the slide other than putting the red dot back on it. If we continue to have problems with the slide, if it's just the front sight loosens, fine. Little blue Loctite, don't care. No big deal. If the safety plunger falls out again, I will attempt once to put Glock OEM parts into it and see if that resolves the issues. I have my own sneaking suspicion of why we're having that failure point. I'm not going to get into it right now. If it happens again, or if you comment that you want to know what my theory is, I'd be happy to share. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to shoot it as is. Really, honestly, at this point, the most hopeful thing I have in my head is that the part that was missing from the get-go. I mean, initially they put the safety plunger in 180 degrees out. That was the working theory on why it fell out, because it couldn't retain well. I have another theory now. But I've not touched this slide. I'm not taking it apart. I'm going to keep it as is, and we are going to shoot the dog shit out of it, like I said. And knock on wood, maybe it'll all work. Maybe it'll be great now. Maybe it'll be a wonderful, wonderful pistol, and I will take back everything that I have currently said. If not, I will build a Glock slide for it. I know those work. And I've seen plenty of guys online that have bought just the fire control group and put Glock slides on and seem to be having a wonderful time with their firearm. So that's kind of where we're at now. I am, at this time, I'm going to put everything back to the way I had it, make those modifications to the slide stop, and go from there. So this was kind of a short video today. I would video taking the trigger in and out, but you guys have seen me do that enough on the channel. Maybe I'll do a separate one just to show you what I modified and whatnot. But hey, thanks for coming along on the ride. Really appreciate it. Wish me luck. So we hope for the best. We'll plan for the worst. Thanks, guys.